Next up, we have Lisa, who's going to give us an update on EMTSP.
Good afternoon, everyone. And since it's our golden anniversary, hence the slides are yellow and gold in the back. I'm going to talk about the EMTSP. I know we have a couple new guys in our group here at Washima. So the EMTSP is the Equipment Management Technical Services Program. It's an AASHTO program. AASHTO probably has a couple dozen, maybe 20 or so technical services programs, and this is the one that aligns with what we do. We'll just jump in from there. This was started, I think, in one of my later slides. If not, we started in about 2009. And the vision basically is to be the go-to place, the comprehensive national resource to support, fleet managers, specifically DOT fleet managers. We have 8 different goals, and the oversight panel has discussed the need to consolidate these goals and revamp and do a new strategic plan, because that hasn't been done since about 2009. So I'm not going to read them all to you because some of them are interplay. But definitely we wanted to support the 4 regional equipment partnerships. And in 2009, Kyle talked about this organization and still being strong after 50 years. There were other regional partnerships that were not so strong, and they were wavering. Coming under the AASHTO umbrella was a way to strengthen and support them. And I think the other partnerships would tell you that we've succeeded in that regard. One of our other goals is to exchange information, develop fleet managers. So that's kind of goal number 3. As I said, I'm not going to hit all of them. So we also wanted to maintain and support fleet equipment research roadmap. In 2009, they created a research roadmap, and we've been marching through that and done quite a number of the projects. And so there actually is a minor research project going on to redo that roadmap. So we've been successful in that regard, and now we need to update that. And goal number 6 is to promote and support the professional development, which is training that we've talked about. And we also want to have common performance measures, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that, very active in that area. The great thing about the EMTSP is it's a voluntary program and a voluntary contribution. The current contribution rate or asked contribution is $5,000, which is really a bargain in terms of many of the TSPs. Some of them are as much as $20,000. And you can see over time that we have grown as a program, and in 2019, there was about 40, actually we think there are 43 states, so we've kind of peaked at that area. One interpretation, the contribution did go up, and that happened fairly quickly. And as you can see, even though the contribution went up in about 2018, the number of states contributing did not go down. So even with the higher contribution request, we actually still increased the number of states contributing. And in 2019, we believe there's one state that just hasn't posted yet, so we think that we're really at 43. So one interpretation is that the states are finding value in the program. So I mentioned the 4 partnerships. We have the Northeast Partnership, the Southeast, the Midwest, and the West, of course. And someone already mentioned that in the odd years, we meet as a regional group, which is why we're here today. And then on the even years, all 4 partnerships come together, and we have a national conference. We're a high-performing group, thank you, but we get our work done through a bunch of different mechanisms. And so we have an education committee, which does a lot of work in providing content and guidance of what's going to go into this web-based training. We have another group that is our experts on reporting on the performance measures, and there's a lot of support amongst that group. And if you want to be involved in that and report more of your performance measures, there's help for that. And then these conferences don't happen on their own. Chris has help here, has NCPP and some of the other Washima folks, help guide that. So it takes it takes a village. And so this is how we get a lot of, especially when you have a lot of things going on, you got to break it up. So the partnership meetings this year, it was the odd year, and so across the country, we don't have actually 4 partnership meetings because we have what I call our Siamese twins. The Midwest and the Northeast like to combine forces, so they always have theirs together. And so they met in Oklahoma City this year, the Southeast in Williamsburg, and we're here in Colorado Springs. And then next year, all 4 partnerships come together, and we'll be back, for us, the West, we'll be back in San Diego because we were there in 2017. And that's June next year. One of the things I'm gonna touch on the next few slides is the EMTSP website. There's a lot of good resources there. One of the things, we have email lists that are easy to get to. We have surveys. If you have a question, you can send that out to either the individual partnerships or nationwide. We have a library and videos, the performance measure, reporting, and invoices if you want to do your contribution, and then information on the conferences that are coming up. So this is a screenshot how to use the email list. And for the 2 folks from Montana and also from Oregon, it's 2 clicks to send an email to 50 states. So if you have a question, and I just put one in there, what's your experience with disc brakes on plow trucks? 2 clicks and you can send that email out to 50 different states and get your responses back. So in my agency, people ask, oh, I want to ask this question. How do I? And I tell them, it's easy. You can do it yourself. But a lot of times they'll come to me and ask me to send them. But it's very easy. If you go on the website, look for the email list, and 2 clicks, this will just pop right up and populate everybody's name that's on the email list, and you send out your question. We also have surveys. So questions, I would encourage you, if you're going to do an email blast out, to keep it very simple, maybe 1-2 questions, something simple. But if you have maybe 3 to 5 questions and you want to tabulate your results, I encourage you to use the Survey Monkey. And these are some lists of some past surveys that have been done, and the results are posted there on the website for you to take a look at. The library, over the course of the next couple of days, when we have technical presentations, they're all going to be videotaped, and then the PDFs of the presentations are also posted, so you don't have to if you miss something, you can always go back and reread it, or take a look at the video as well. And that's great also if you heard something you think is interesting and want to share it with somebody in your organization who couldn't attend, you can point them right to this website. And those are usually posted a couple of months after the conference, so that's available. This is the performance measures I mentioned. AASHTO has done a resolution as an adopted 5 KPIs, or key performance indicators, or performance measure. And the definitions of each of these are on the website. This is a screenshot of of what everybody's reporting looks like. And it's not necessarily to compare yourself to others, but if somebody's doing a good job at something, you can see that. You can go ahead and contact them, or you can see national trends. And one of the things I usually point out is in the 3rd column, in the blue column, that's the replacement recommended column, and you can see many states are in the same boat, that we're struggling to replace our fleet when it's recommended. Also, we recently had an anonymous complaint in our agency about how we are not keeping up with our PMs, and I was able to show this, or shared this, so that we could see that we were fairly close to what the rest of the nation was. So there's lots of different uses for this kind of information. Research, I'm not going to get into the research projects because someone else is doing that later in the conference, but we've recently completed one. We have 6 approved and ongoing research projects, and then we have 1 pending proposal. And then the web-based training, this is to follow on to what Neil was talking about. Normally, or many of the TC3 courses that are online, there's a cost to them. But the EMTSP is developing this content and has this MOU with TC3, and all of the courses that the EMTSP develops are free. Well, free in the sense that you've already paid for them if you contributed to the program. But we have the 3 that Neil mentioned that are up and running and are online. And then we have 3 more. Well, actually, this one, the first one is done now. The equipment management one, that one is done. The 2 on specifications and procurement are, as you heard, sometime next year or at the end of this year or beginning of next year. So these are some metrics that we got on how many course registrations. So these metrics are from a few months ago, so I don't have metrics on the other course. But so far for the PM course, we have 326 course registrations, and the benchmarking, 83 course registrations. So that's the website where to find these courses. As I mentioned, they're free for all DOT, and just like the TurboTax commercial, they're free, as I mentioned. So you might as well partake of them or at least try them. I'm having my team take them, even if they're not going to be technicians or supervisors in the operations, but even if they're analysts, it gives them some better context into what the organization is about. Questions or comments? And looks like, is that the wrong logo? Well, just wanted to say thank you to our hosts and congratulations to Washima for 50 years. Thank you.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.